So Paul just came up with the most brilliant entrance to any video ever.
He did.
Paul,
I agree.
Let's hear it,
I
Paul.
agree.
This is how we're going to start every fucking video, Paul. Let's hear it.
No.
I will say it then.
We love these people. The people that work here, we love them.
I will say it. Fuck you, people. You suck. You're the enemy. You're all pieces of shit. Hate, 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 anger, 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 and it's all doom and gloom. Please like and subscribe and share the video out as soon as you possibly can.
There we go. That's the new
strategy. Those videos get a lot of hits. Go figure, right?
I mean, this hasn't even been viewed yet, but I already felt my subscribers.
Right?
It went up that intro.
Miraculously. Yeah. Miraculously. But on a more positive note, we're going to talk about why random encounters suck balls. So, Tim, do you want to start this off?
Well, Joe's going to talk about sucking balls, not me.
That's my other channel. That's the only Joe channel.
That's the only Joe.
Only
Joe. Joe hates random encounters because he can't control it, because he lets a dice thing. So he has issues. Joe's got a little bit of control issues in that.
A little bit.
I mean, Paul and I think are more lenient with the random encounters and enjoy the whimsy of them. Although I don't know, Paul, you're looking quizzical, like maybe you don't agree with that.
It depends, right? I mean, if your random encounter is
comes to hate, he's bringing the hate.
He's bringing it. I can feel it.
I'm just saying, if you're doing a railroady type game, right? There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, and you throw in a random encounter that can eschew this thing. They can just send your players off in all the wrong directions,
and it will.
Then that could be a problem if you do a random encounter that you now have to do on the fly, that you now have to make up. And you know what? I think I've done it. I'll speak for me, where now I said something or I included something about something, and they go, "Oh, we definitely want to do that." I'm like, that was like unintended consequences of this random roll, but I did this myself.
Right. I screwed myself.
I screwed myself on this deal because I did that. Now, if you're doing a sandbox game or things like that, and you want to put something and do a random encounter, like you're okay, based on desert. If you're in the desert and you have 10 things that they could run into in the desert, well, what are one of those 10 things that and you roll and say, okay, that's what you're going to find. It could be a monster. It could be an oasis. It could be a sandstorm happens. It could be, something in those regards. But, random encounters are boons or curses.
Banes,
yes. How are you using them?
Absolutely.
The thing, Tim, you're funny the way you started that, because I was a random encounter purist until I came across you and your technique of doing, which I adopted.
I know. I know you did.
So I completely, first I was like, that's heresy. It's not a random encounter. What Tim does is that he
just sometimes I do. Yeah, I use different things, but this is one of my favorite techniques.
Yeah, he'll pre-pick. He'll look at his random encounter chart table, whatever the fuck,
I still roll. I don't pre-pick. I roll.
You roll, but then you prepare.
Yep.
Right? You prepare the encounter, and you may not know where you're going to drop it, but you have the 40 different types of encounters off the table. You've rolled 3 of them, and you've prepped 3 of them, which makes them more immersive. There's tactically more interesting. The area around it is better. You could draw a map around it. You could add little doodads in there, make it interesting, an environment that it's in, right? And you could develop out who the hell's in it. It's not just generic orc. It's Kuklak, the orc, and he has the problem because, right? And so you're preparing all this shit, and therefore you may or may not drop it randomly or when, but you've picked it non-randomly. Well, you picked it randomly, you prepped it non-randomly, and you may or may not drop it randomly, right? And that's what I do. And on top of that, I only pick ones that make sense for the area they're in.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You definitely want to make sure you do, because the biggest issue that I run in with random encounters, but I use them all the time, is, as you guys know, I run a heavy city-oriented campaign, and when you run a city-oriented campaign, there is limitless alleyways and options and NPCs that you can do. And when I'm running, especially with you guys, if I do a random encounter, a lot of times you guys will just pick up on it. you'll run with it. And it's like Paul said, or, you know, it's like, oh shit, now they're going in that direction. This was just supposed to be sort of like because some of my random encounters are, you know, they're just flavor random encounters. They're just a part to kind of develop the atmosphere of the city and what's going on. It's just, you know, a washerwoman's doing this or whatever. And then all of a sudden, this washerwoman, everybody's invested in them because they want to do a quest for the washerwoman. And it's like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. all right. I guess we're doing the washerwoman today. All right, let's do that. But when I'm out in the wilderness or in the city and stuff, like with Paul these days, it's very interesting because I'm running a themed type of campaign with him with the Thieves Guild. So in my little booklet I have, I don't know where it's at right now, but I have 2 sets of random encounters. I have basically the Scorn random encounters, but then I also have a set of random encounters specifically for the Silent Knives so they might be very specific to the guild because stuff is going to happen specifically because they're in the Silent Knife and everything. And so then I prep those for Paul, and Paul knows, like, every time he goes to do something, it's just busy.
Yeah.
You know, there's always, you know, stuff going on because he's in the city. Now, if he's out in the wilderness, then I'd only be, you know, rolling every once in a while. But it's sort of like if you're in a dungeon, it's like, you know, what, a 1 in 6 chance. Well, if you're in the city, it's a 6 in 6 chance that something random asses things is going to happen. So what I'll do is I'll do a couple things because I'll roll randomly how many random encounters that'll happen during this time. So I'll roll it like a D3 or D4 because with a 2-hour session, you got to be real finite with them. But I also, if I know it's going to be an intense, Paul's going into the Temple of Dedrick Goria, I don't have to prep any of that random encounter shit because I know, you know,
what's there.
We know what's there.
Yep.
And the only randomness that's going to happen is, like, you know, what the players do for the most part. You know, what's there is going to be set. But go ahead, Joe.
There's the problem. That's that people don't understand. What you just said about Degradoria, people, you know what's there. You don't need to prep a random encounter. A lot of us started in ancient days, right? Temple of Elemental Evil, for example, said you're walking down the hall on this level of the dungeon. Here is a random encounter chart. You roll every hour or whatever, or if you just feel like your players are taking too fucking long, you roll and something shows up, right? And so all of a sudden on a roll, you get 6 skeletons walking down the hallway. That makes
as they do
no sense. Why are they there? Because between them and you is 9 other rooms of, like, high level clerics or whatever the fuck. Why? How? Where did they come from? And how come they're not attacking everything else? Right? It makes no goddamn sense. And so random encounters should be used in a way that makes your world feel alive, not in a way that makes your world feel random. You know what I mean?
Very
it
good.
should make your world make sense. You know, and so if I see 3 skeletons coming down the hallway at me, I'm thinking there's a cleric or a necromancer somewhere up the hall who sent them to me. And if there's not, then you're a shitty DM because this thing makes no sense that these 3 random skeletons appear when there's 5 different rooms of gnolls. Why? Why are they there with the gnolls? Why are they not attacking the gnolls? Right? Something like that. So that's the thing, you know. Other than that, it's a pacing thing of how often you want to. You just said too. How often you want to have them, right? You don't want to drag a 2-hour session down with 5 random encounters. You haven't got to the real point of the goddamn session, you know.
Yep.
Well, it's true, and it puts like Joe said, it puts your players off to guessing about things. Now, if you want to say if you had the same skeletons, but they're gnoll skeletons, that would make sense.
Makes sense.
Why are there gnoll skeletons here? What is happening there?
No warlock, no necromancer, no evil cleric. Right. That yes.
It writes itself in some ways. If you're gonna do it that way, then you know that there's something you can put at the end that's controlling or manipulating those things.
Yep.
But if you don't have, like Tim says, if you don't have a set, that it's okay. Like if you're gonna pick really it's a random encounter versus a set random encounter. So in other words, you've prepared your 5 or 6 things, whether it's an event, whether it's a monster, whether it's, and you could, customize it to the adventure you're doing versus opening up any random book or a table or you're Googling it or whatever you're doing. Go ahead and prepare those set lists for yourself so that within the context of the game you're playing, all of these, like Joe says, make sense.
Right.
All the old school purists are yelling at us right now from their rocking chairs, and they're taking off their breathing masks, and they're screaming, "No, you're just a lousy DM who can't improv." And on top of that, you have no ability to have an immersion story come from that. Oh, it's my big one, Elizabeth. It's the big one. This is what they're fucking doing right now. Everybody gets a San Francisco reference. 10 points to you.
I got it.
Doing. That's what they're doing right now.
Absolutely.
Because they're like, oh my god, this is how Gary did it in 1976, and therefore it should be the way we always do it. No,
and that's why I didn't like random encounters, because now we're gonna, like, we kind of go after 5e. Well, boys and girls, gather up, because we're gonna talk some shit about some old school gaming.
Yes,
stuff.
we are.
One of my least favorite aspects of old gaming thing was the random encounters. They made no fucking sense to me. And then it's like, where did these guys come from? It's like, like Joe said, they're just there, and there was no context to what they were just there. There was no. It was just it was a list.
It was a DM fuck you. That's all it was.
Right. Yeah. It was like they were basically there to push the players, so they didn't take time to do things. I get that. I mean, I understand why that was, but I think it was a clumsy tool to make that happen. I thought, well, what we're talking about, if you have an adventure, my biggest suggestion to anyone is take the time to, like Paul said, is kind of custom make this random table to the adventure that you're running. So if the players are kind of dicking around in a room, maybe they're trying to open up a chest, they can't figure it out or whatever, but they seem to have unlimited time. Well, all of a sudden you're in the Temple of Dedrigoria, and a couple of cultists are walking by because that's where they live.
That's exactly it. Yes. Yes.
But the thing I would also say is make it work within the adventure. Is if you've got 6 cultists in the adventure and 2 go walking down the hall, don't make 2 new cultists in there. Take it from the number that you already have in there.
Exactly. Now you're down to 4.
Right. Now you're down to 4. Now I know in the old school adventures, they sometimes would say that, take it from the total of the, once in a while, not all the time.
No.
But that way it makes more sense, because in the old school ones, a lot of times, I mean, they would have the same monsters that were in there, but it was just here's a random number, here's a random, just basically a list. And I know old school purists, and I think Joe and I are thinking of the same person about how he feels about random encounters. But
there's a couple.
There's more than a few. Yeah, exactly. But they got to do their way. It's just that doesn't work for me. It might work for you. It doesn't work for me. I like to have my 2d12 goblins not just show up, but my 2d12 goblins are starving because they haven't eaten, and they got lost, and they're willing to trade their swords because they went for rations, because they don't give a shit about fighting anymore. They just want to eat.
It's a meaningful encounter. If you could make the goblins or whoever it is that's random, I'm not against random. I'm not against random encounters. I'm against the random aspect of it, because I want them to have a sense of verisimilitude in the world. I want them to have like a meaningful connection to what's going on. I want the encounter to matter and have some consequence, not just because you're draining resources in terms of healing and weapons and all the other shit, right? Arrows and stuff like that. But you're not only draining spells and resources, but you're having a different kind of a consequence on the group, in the sense that those goblins now might be allies. You find them a way out of that place, right? And who knows what could happen. Yeah.
Come on, add some, Paul. Let's bring it, Paul. You got some for us?
Listen, I agree with that. Everything has to. I think it has to make sense for the things, because you're screwing yourself in the process if you don't do that. Because if you're, like, example, in world building, listen, if you're dealing with a blank slate, then there's nothing wrong then with saying, okay, here's a hex map. I'm just going to roll, 3 things, right? So if I say, look, I have a, like I put here, just a quick plug, by the way, my little crit happen zine. I have a random, table.
Didn't actually write it backwards like that. It's actually written the proper
Oh,
way.
there you go. Yes, I wrote it backwards.
You need a mirror to read it.
Example. Here's just some things that may be out there in the great wild.
Bigify you here.
There you go.
Just some things that are out in the wild there, right? It could be a cave, it could be a watchtower, it could be a stronghold, it could be a town, it could be a temple, right? So you're just kind of, once again, you can pre-roll them and say that's in the area, or if you say, look, that space is blank, well, then I'm gonna put something there just to for the sake of saying, okay, you find this in the area, as long as you have an idea of some of the things already that you're going to be doing or that you want them to do, and you have the improvisational skills to say, okay, I'm going to put a cave there, and in that cave is going to be now I have my list for whatever's in a cave. Well, there's 4 things that could be there. So I'm not once again, I agree that random encounters don't have to be like Joe said, just random for the sake of random. It's random with some thought put behind it. You can't just roll on any random table.
Random in context, kind of.
You know what? You can't have an aboleth showing up in the middle of your forest. If you're rolling on tables, it makes no. You could, but I mean, it's a wacky thing. Then you've just made more work for yourself.
Yep.
And then, go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna have an example, but
give it an example.
The other day, I was rolling for my brother and Pete. We were playing the game, and I brought him over to the house here because I wanted to show all my toys.
Of course.
Plus my brother had stuff going on in his place. It would have been too many distractions, so he had too many cousins, nephews, and nieces over. So I'm like, come over here, we'll do it in person. Fuck roll 20. I like to roll in person anyway. And I got to do all my coins. I got coin bags. You looted the guys, and I gave them coins that I bought and everything.
That is the smallest coin bag I've ever seen.
Yeah, I got
a coin.
I got all these different coins. I got.
I see it. Yeah,
I had them count them too. I said, how many did you get?
Babylon 5.
In the bag and count them. So you got the kobolds had some coins, and like the coins are old. Where did they come from? It makes no sense. How did they get them? They were, it's blah blah blah. So then it's like, but there's kobold women and children, right? And there's something going on, and they were starving. They beat them down. Surrender. They surrendered because blah blah blah. And then there was a kobold patrol that was out that came back and was like, free our people in kobold, but nobody spoke up. They finally got one of the kobolds who actually spoke pigged in common, right? If that's a good word, you can say that anywhere. I don't know, bad common essentially. And they said, okay, we will let you out of this city through the secret area. And they're like, we won't feed us to the troll, right? And I wanted to have another encounter in there. I wanted to have a troll. I need to make it up because what the fuck's a troll doing in a sewer? So I created a sewer troll, right? Whole new fucking kind of troll. It's a variation of a swamp troll or a river troll, a sewer troll, right? Now it's in there, right? And that was going to be a random encounter had they gone this way, right? But it wasn't because they went that way and they came across the kobolds. And so a random encounter turned into something that I made part of the setting, part of the, part of the land, part of this, that they heard about it. It's no longer a random encounter. It's a fucking sewer troll down there. No shit. Now sewer trolls, but they don't understand. It's like fire doesn't do shit to them because they're water creatures. Electricity does. They don't know this yet. They're planning all the fire assaults that they got. All right. They're fucked. As soon as it's not as powerful as a real troll, but they're fucked. And I can't wait till they see how fucked
Look
they
how
are.
happy Joe is. He's just, just glowing. Yeah, he's so happy.
I just fuck myself because he's, you know what? We got to drop this video after the game. I got to play this game soon before my brother sees this fucking video.
I was going to say, you better get to it soon.
Yeah. We got to get a scheduled game on the books here, so my brother don't see this fucking video first. But yeah. So basically, that's what it comes down to. It's like you turn a random encounter into something that makes meaningful sense within the context of it. You hear about it; it's no longer random, right? Because the kobolds are scared of it, and this is why they're trapped here and starving and hungry because they can't get back to where the fuck they came from because the sewer troll cut them off, right? And so it makes sense within the context of the thing. So Absolutely. That's my example. Sorry, I cut you off to throw that out there. But what
I love that. No, I mean, that's a great way because now you have something that you didn't have before because of that.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the random encounters and stuff. But the other thing I wanted to add about random encounters, everybody out here probably knows it or is pretty clear. They don't have to be bad. They can actually be a official random encounter. You don't have to have, and it doesn't even have to be a sentient random encounter. It could be like,
doesn't have to be a fight. Doesn't have to be a fight, dude.
No, it could be maybe another adventure came by and is like, you guys are all right? What's going on? I've been seeing all these dead bodies around here. I was wondering what was going on, and then he can tell you your experience, or maybe he's coming back from a fight and he can give you information, or maybe it's just some sort of weird weather. Maybe you're outside and a storm hits and it's a random, rainstorm or a random squall or something like that. Or it could just be, a flock of deer, or a herd of deer, flocks of maybe it is a flock of deer. And
I was going to say that's a new deer.
Yeah.
You had some scary deer one time, I remember that.
Yeah, you guys did run away from the deer. I do remember that. Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah. But you guys should have probably. But yeah, so your random encounters can also be, beneficial, neutral, and all those. I like doing that in my random encounters because one of my favorite things to do in my like micro adventures that Joe never reads is I add these like random list of random encounters. They're all there. But in my random encounters, sometimes it's beneficial for the party to encounter this, and it's like a random thing that will if they do, then it'll help them actually on the adventure if they actually encounter them. But it's not guaranteed. They can complete the adventure without it, but if they get this advice, or maybe they get this item or whatever, it'll be beneficial to the party. So, but like I said, it's random, so it might not just happen, but if it does, then it's actually a plus for the party. So it's a surprise for me too, as a GM. I put it in there. I don't know if they're going to get it or not, because I'm a GM who likes to see my players do well. I do. I like to see them be successful, and be smart about it and everything. Although I do like, throwing stuff in front of them that's not I was going to say age appropriate, but level appropriate.
No, that's given. No matter what level we are, you'll find something that's not level appropriate. It could be goddamn Zeus walking down the street with a hound head, and whoever the fuck Zeus's father was, it will show up.
That'd be Kronos.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say now? You blew me away with the Kronos thing.
Threw you off of Kronos, huh?
Yeah, you did.
It doesn't have to be a negative encounter.
It doesn't have to be a negative encounter, but it also what we were just talking about. It doesn't have to be level appropriate, because sometimes the random encounters, and I think Shadowdark does a really good job with this. There's other systems that probably do it, but because I play Shadowdark, it doesn't even have to be a close encounter. Because one of my favorite encounters that you guys did recently, maybe it was a while back, is you guys, I don't even think you saw the creature. You just saw the creature moving through the forest because trees were falling down to the left and the right. These massive trees were just getting pushed to the side. And I don't think you guys ever saw the creature, but just seeing that, it was like Kong coming through the woods or something like that. And you guys were like, no, thank you. I'm out. I'm not that curious. I'm good. I'm getting out of here.
Yep.
So just building up, and then that, I think, Joe, you did a video about the wonder and the lore of D&D and how it's lost.
Oh, that drops tomorrow. Way to tease it. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, okay. Tomorrow. So it's drop some more. Joe does this, and it's good.
See this video, it will have dropped a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks.
Oh ago. Yeah. So it'll be passé by then, or that. But you can start building up some stuff like that, because that unknown's a lot of fun to play with in a random encounter. It can just be an event or just a hint of something bigger to come in a random encounter that or is coming down the lane. Maybe a lightning strike randomly hits, and all of a sudden, you might not think it's a random encounter, nothing much, but that's sort of a foretelling of events to come kind of deal. So
yeah, and same thing too, if there's a dragon, right? Well, or there's a random, players, the PCs can run into that dragon. If you already know the dragon's doing one of four things: it's eating, it's sleeping, it's burning down a city, or it flies overhead, right?
Yeah, could be taking a shit. Could be taking a shit, Paul.
Could also be doing could be doing any of those things. Could be feeding. Could be eating somebody's sheep somewhere.
Imagine a dragon flies overhead like a bird shits on you, flies. Imagine a dragon just shit. There's a random encounter.
I was going to say, Joe just said
dragon shit. Just like boom. Just like completely fucking covers your ass up.
That's hilarious.
And it does like a D6 damage too because of the sheer fucking mass of it. All right. If he was constipated, 3D6. That's hard shit. Right.
We need Monty Python to make that scene, you know.
I'm going to have it in one of my games. Trust me.
I know you are. I know you are now.
Well, I haven't thought of it in the past.
Right. But also like in you know what was it in the dinosaur movie, you know, where you find large piles. You can find large piles of you know, dragon, you know, dump, you know, right? Maybe you find a treasure in there if you're willing to dig around in it. Who knows?
I'm gonna get a kick out of this. I for a period of time I lived in Colorado and I was out in the middle of nowhere.
There.
I mean, in the middle. Timmy knows where the area I was.
I know where it was at.
And a few years out there, and I remember I was out volunteering for some thing up in the mountains. I'm like at 9,000 or 10,000 feet, and you have to drive 2 hours on Jeep trails to get to this place. And I'm out there taking my time. You know, you got to go through pastures and like open the gate drive the car, close the gate because cows are grazing this and that. Anyway, I get up to the fucking place and I'm walking around and I'm like, what are these things? And I'm like completely mystified by these weird mushroom looking, I don't know what the fuck they were, you know. And I'm walking around after like an hour. I'm like, dude, what is this? He's like, what? And I go, what is it? It looks so fucking weird. It's like it's dried cow shit patties, dude. I'm like, oh, all right. I didn't know what the fuck they were. I had no goddamn clue what they were. I had never seen.
I am not surprised at all. Joe did not recognize that.
I thought I discovered some weird new fucking thing in the universe that nobody'd ever heard of before. And it's dried cow shit patties. You know, so that's where you take a city boy and put him in the mountains. This is what you're gonna get.
Right.
Hey, well, there you go. There's a random encounter. You find people on the farm are having a cow patty or cow chip throwing contest.
Yeah,
right? They're like taking those chips and they're going, and that's a fact. I mean, there's people that's the actual thing, and so you can take and just find them throwing. See how far they can throw it.
People in those flyover states are bored, man. I don't doubt it. They had some fun. Got nothing to do.
The fun where they can find it.
Yeah, that's absolutely. It. You got to do something, man.
All right. Well, so to sum up, what would be your biggest advice, Paul, then for someone who's running a random encounter? You think that they could improve their random encounters? Then what would be your one big tip?
Well, yeah, don't make a lot of work for yourself. Right. If you don't derail your whole adventure because you rolled a random encounter that didn't fit whatever it is you were doing, like I've done. You just rolled it. Now you're stuck with whatever you put on there. Go ahead and pre-plan them and put them on there. But unless you already know what's there, if there's a dragon, like I said, and can only be doing one of four things, then roll that. That's
five. You know, could be shitting on your head. Could be shitting on your head. Remember.
At 100%. And so I would say just don't make more work for yourself than you need to, especially when you're at the table in the moment where you don't have anything prepared on the thing that you just randomly rolled.
Yeah. Joe, what's your big tip for random encounters?
I don't know. Between the bourbon, the apples, the hard cider, and I am fascinated with random encounters of dragon shit. It's everything else is out of my head at this point.
I know he's creating it right now.
Figuring out how to do this to my brother's group next time we play. He's in a city game. I don't care. There's gonna be a dragon that flies over and shits on his head. I don't care. Somehow it will make sense in this fucking game.
It's quantum shit.
Quantum shit. Quantum dragon shit. It will appear.
It's going to happen. What if that was valuable? What if it was used for something? What if it was valuable?
Dragon shit?
Yeah, you had to go find it, and like people used it for something.
Quest for dragon shit.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. I would imagine it's probably very flammable, so maybe they would want it for this or that or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You can make it something interesting. You can make it a spell component. Maybe it'll boost up your fireball spell because don't you need
something
back guano in the old days?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need a thing of back guano, yeah.
Now what if you have a little pinch of, dragon dookie? Boom.
Yeah. Roll with the punches, man.
That's right.
Dragon shit, red dragon shit.
That is so funny. The
On that happy note.
And my biggest tip would be do some variety of your random encounters. Always make your players worry that you're rolling for random encounters, but they don't have to always be an enemy, you know, and like Paul said, don't make more work for yourself. Make them fit within the game, and have your random encounters have some sort of effect, whether it's a benefit or a consequence, or maybe invoke some sort of a question about something. I think those are pretty good ones, because then that kind of maybe builds around your world, your mythology to your world too, because I do like adding those ones in.
I think for resources, we haven't really talked about that for random shit. I mean, Matt Finch's Tome of World Building is more for designing the structure of what you're going to play that game. It's not for random encounters.
No.
The two best things I've ever seen for city-based random encounters were the City of Waterdeep book that had so many great tables for like pickpocketing and what happens in each area of the ward of the city, that Monte Cook's Ptolus, Ptolus,
I think. Yeah, I think the piece.
He had some awesome tables in there for that, right? And he play tested, I think, 3rd edition on that, using that setting. So some great, well-developed setting, great tables.
You just have to be able to find the tables in that massive tome.
Oh, it's like 1,000,000 pages. Yeah,
I know it is.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah,
but that's another great resource. And I'm going to go bring on the controversy here for the end of it. Is
all right?
Fucking use AI. Dude, ask AI for random tables in an area. And I asked it for, give me like 20 different people who would be at a high-end dinner and I described the entire thing. You know, I think I asked for 100 because I wanted to break it down, and I got 20 interesting ones. So
this one,
it worked. What's that?
The world's largest city.
What is that?
They redid this.
Is that the world's largest dungeon people? Same people?
The same people, yeah. I got this a long time. I actually won it in a raffle at a convention.
I've never heard of that, dude. I've never heard of that.
They did a follow-up for it, but this one has a lot. It's I don't know, 1,000 pages or something like that.
Damn.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's not that. It's only 700.
Minor. Yeah.
Just a minor little thing.
Book. I never. Oh, Carpenter crack alert! Carpenter crack alert! We just saw it.
There you go.
Put a quarter right down there.
There you go. Winner gets dime.
We're ending on dragon shit and Tim's ass crack. So perfect place to end.
There it is. Yeah. End it.
All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. Appreciate. Subscribe. Share it around. Click like. Especially subscribe to Tim's channel so you can get, like we said in the last video, his dog is hungry. And before he eats a matter house and home. I think you probably heard him chewing on a chew toy there before. The mother faux dog is hungry. So Tim needs to feed him. So get him monetized. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Guys, appreciate it.
Bye-bye.